Good afternoon, all. Camelback Trading 2724 coming to you this Tuesday afternoon, April 28th. We are looking at the last 2 days of the market profile of the SPY ETF here on Window Trader. And boy, what an interesting day. Interesting day. On a day where the bulls gap higher, we open up at 291.02, trade up to 291.40. We basically have a void and a vacuum above us in price. So we were almost $4 higher, or a little over $3 higher than yesterday's high. And to close that gap in pretty grand style by the sellers as we have a trend day down. This is some weird stuff today. So we have a trend day down. Two sets of single prints that hold, right? J's high to B's low, C's high to A's low. However, after that really good flush with really good volume in B, C, and D, we end 10 wide. And almost basically a B shape for long liquidation. So where I thought maybe we had longer term sellers coming in, possibly it was, but they sure walked away after they did what they wanted to do. I think more importantly what happened is, again, I didn't like the structure here. I didn't like this, and I certainly didn't like this. So maybe they just decided to repair this morning and most of yesterday. Remains to be seen. Some critical things, though, did happen today. Early in the day, we had another gap higher. We were way above the 287.30 11-day balance high. We were way above the 287 critical level I talk about. And we were way above 286.79, which was last week's high, which we had an inside week up for the second day in a row. And guess what? We've closed at 285.69. So they gave those all back. Now again, we say constantly, one day doesn't make a market, 1 week doesn't make a market. I've also said this, we are going to battle this 287 level. There's probably more bodies left at 287 in the SPY for the last almost 2.5 years than at any other price level. Neither side's going to give it up that easily. Neither side. It was a good day. It was an excellent day for most people in the room. The most important thing is I told people that something had absolutely changed. I said, in A period, I'm looking for longs, right? I'm looking for a taper. I'm looking for longs because there's not a lot above us. We have a huge gap below us. But as A period went on, I said, once B starts, if we do not get back to the opening and or take out A's low, that game plan has changed. And it did change dramatically. Now in A period, I did take one short. We went back and forth through the opening, but most of the volume, now you can't see it now because obviously all the volume all day was here, but early in the day, the majority of the volume in A period was below the opening. So at one point when we got back to around it, I took a short and wrote it down. So I took one short in A. And then the fun began. I told the room, look, things have changed. And as soon as B took out A, got on board and was short B, C, and D. Now, I didn't have it the whole time. Came down, took it off because the gap was still there. Came back up, put it on, especially with single print. C open, went up a little bit, put it back on. Now, I missed a good part, actually. I think in C period, I took it off right when we closed the gap and then didn't put it on again till later down here. So I didn't stay in it the whole way, but man, it was a great morning shorting in B, C, and D. And I kept telling everybody, look, there is no reason to take a long. Now, yes, value started totally higher on the day. The ES value ended up overlapping to higher. Now, I'm in 6-tick or 7-tick increments here. If you go into ones, SPY was unchanged on the day. We overlapped. We were higher than the high and lower than the low from yesterday. I said, you're going to know when there's a chance to take a buy. You're going to know when the tempo slows down, when we get two-sided trade. But there is no way you should be looking for longs in B, C, or D. Quite the opposite. Every time you got a little pop in those time frames, you should be selling them again. And that's what I did, and I think a lot of the room did. Now, F period, it opened. It had some incredibly poor structure below. I took a long. Actually got out of it because it didn't go up and repair the structure like it usually does right away. However, that would have been a good trade because then we repaired it later in F anyway. And then I took more shorts in J and K. Now, I'm not calling this an afternoon rally high because it's still a trend day. We still have the single prints. We never, ever saw the initial balance again after C. We never saw the opening after A. So I shorted J. Both times, put some good size on. Actually put on better size at one point when K was coming down because I said, we're definitely going to get the POC. And that's what we did. Now, here's something else that's unusual on a day like today. We have a trend day down. The POC got raised 3 times. Now, very little. Didn't go up a lot. We're talking pennies. But it did get raised. So that's very unusual on a trend day down. So it remains to be seen. Yes, I'm going to say the sellers won today. However, again, it's only one day, and we're not far from those different price levels on the day. We did go out for the 3rd day in a row. We go out with a price probe. This one to the downside, as we took out D's low in the last time frame. We closed above it, I believe. Let's see. Yep, we closed above it. But just like yesterday, right? We closed at 287 yesterday. I said we don't know if the price probe's accepted or rejected to A. Look where we opened. The price probe was certainly accepted. Anybody who bought once we took out L's high yesterday, even though it closed down here, if they held on to it, made money this morning. Well, now it's the same thing here. Yes, we closed above the price probe, but we won't know if it's accepted until tomorrow. Destinations for tomorrow. First one on the upside will be D's low, 285.58, the price probe. Then we have our 2 sets of single prints. First one started 288.37 and get filled at 53 cents. The second one starts 288.96, gets filled at 289.48. And then we have today's high of 291.40. And above that, we have that 9 wide from March 6th at 295.07. For the downside, we have today's low of 285.40. Then we have yesterday's low of 284.62, and then filling that gap at 283.70, a 92-point gap. Then we have the price probe from the 24th, 282.93. Price spike from the same day, 281.56. And then below that, we don't have anything to that day's low of 278.50. So this market is, we have some huge earnings, huge tech earnings, and the NASDAQ was the worst acting of the indices by far. So we have huge tech earnings starting tonight in the next 3 days. We have the Fed tomorrow. So it's going to make some real interesting times. Let's go to the charts. So for a while there, I thought the 278 could be left dead in the water this morning when we got up to 291.40. Now, pre-market high was 291.46. We got to 291.40. We didn't get the pre-market high in SPY. We ended up getting the pre-market low down at 287.50. Amazing how these things work. 2 days to go in the month. Are the bulls going to be able to hold this trend line at 278? And we're going to have an inside month. Fun stuff coming. Weekly. Bulls came out of the gate on fire yesterday and today, only to do this. Now, it's only Tuesday, and a lot can change. However, even though we filled that gap, we're right back into, remember the triple top, right? Last 2 weeks and the week from March 2nd? Well, we're right back below all of them. So here's a question. Again, it's only Tuesday. This could all go out the window tomorrow. But is this excess on the weekly? Is it excess on the daily? Right? We have a pretty good sell tail above us. We have a 141 tick sell tail. So just like I said, the bears better get their act together real soon, and they did this. They did today. Now it's the bulls' turn. And then we are still one time framing up 5 weeks though. And then on the daily, here we go. We came out of a 12-day balance to the upside on a gap. I call it balance to up yesterday. Now, even though we closed back into this big balance, I'm still going to give the buyers the benefit of the doubt because we're one time framing up still. So I'm still going to say balance to up. But if we take out today's low tomorrow, that up is gone and we'll be firmly back in balance. And then I wouldn't be surprised we go down, close this gap, back into this 2-day balance, and then look where we'll be. 50-day moving average is 278.64. The trend line is 278. Very interesting times we're in right now. So the question is, did the bulls finally run out of steam this morning, or is it just a pause? It remains to be seen. I hope you had a great day trading. Have a great night, and I'll see you prior to the opening tomorrow.